So good afternoon all. Today we are going to discuss application of Gauss law, or we can say flux. First, find the flux from the semi-cylinder. Semi-cylinder. We have one semi-cylinder. It is half of the cylinder whose length is L by 2. Whose length is L by 2, right? And we want to calculate what is the flux through it. We want to calculate flux. So from Gauss law, you learned that from Gauss law, for a closed boundaries, any closed boundaries and charges enclosed in the middle, what is the flux? Can anybody tell? A closed boundaries, if you take closed surfaces of 3 dimension, the charge is placed at the center. What is the flux through it? Anybody? Are you there? Flux through closed surfaces. Closed surface. Closed surface. Charge is present. That's what. When the charge is present, if there is no charges present, then the closed surface, the flux will be 0. When the charge is present at the center, then the flux can be written as phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Phi equals to Q by epsilon naught. This is nothing but for closed cylinder. Closed cylinder. Closed cylinder. Phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. This is a half of it, half of the cylinder. When it is half of the cylinder, then we want to convert this into full cylinder. Half of the cylinder, directly we can write half of it. That is phi is equals to Q by 2 epsilon naught. That's all. Half of the cylinder, half cylinder. Right? Exactly half dimension. Otherwise, try to make distribution of this flux lines. You just try to construct the equal and the opposite cylinder above the Gaussian surface is constructed. Then this will be complete cylinder. This will be complete cylinder. When it is complete cylinder, then flux through it will be in all directions. You can see here. So flux downwards is Q by 2 epsilon naught. Flux upwards is Q by 2 epsilon. Total it is how much? Q by epsilon naught. That means through this half cylinder, how much it is? Q by 2 epsilon naught. That will be the answer. Hope that you got it as. Now similarly, can you tell for the hemisphere, half of the hemisphere? For complete sphere, if I take this a complete sphere, when the charge is placed at the center, then in all directions, right, the flux of phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. This is a closed surface. Now here how much you are getting? Half of it. Yes or no? That can be written as phi through hemisphere. Hemisphere equals to Q by 2 epsilon naught. Phi is equals to Q by 2 epsilon naught. Now, if you want to construct one more hemisphere above, right? So now it will be, charges will be, that is flux, will be distributed equally in all directions. Above part, bottom part. Upper part, lower part. Equally distributed, that is Q by 2 epsilon naught. Q by 2 epsilon naught plus Q by 2 epsilon naught will get a Q phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught, right? So basic things. Just to take a screenshot. If you have any doubts, let me know. Now see here. If I take a plate, side A and A and A, the charge is placed at a distance above the plate, at a distance of A by 2. Now, how to calculate flux through this plate? First, what we have to do, construct a closed surface. If I try to construct a closed surface, I can draw this one transforming this equation, this diagram like this. So this will be the plates, bottom plates, this is the plates, right? This is the plates. Carefully observe, this will be the plates. So side A, and A, and at a distance of plus Q, at a distance of A by 2 it is placed. A distance of A by 2. That means it is formed a cube. When it is a cube, the flux through the cube equals to Q by epsilon. So cube has how many faces? 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we want through one surface divided by 6. That's all. So that means the flux through this surface, one surface equals to Q by 6 epsilon naught. Hope you understood this one. All of you? You understood? Yes? No? You follow? Yes. Okay. Just to take a screenshot. Face of C. There is a cube and a charge is placed at the center. When the charge is placed at the center, we would like to calculate the flux through this shaded part. Then a flux to the closed surface or a cube, we know that's Q by epsilon naught. Right. This flux is distributed in how many surfaces? Equally distributed in all 6 surfaces. If I take like this, it will be coming outside and fronts like this, equally distributed, right? Equally distributed through all the surfaces. That means we want only from one surface. This surface we want. The surface means this is 1. Let us take 2. Here it is 3. This is 4, 5, and 6. 5 and 6. Through this surface I require, which is nothing but 5 through one surface, or a shaded surface equals to Q by 6 epsilon naught. Right? Is clear? We ask 2 shaded surfaces, Q by 6 epsilon naught plus Q by 6 epsilon naught. Okay? To the complete means into 6. That's all. Like this, we can solve the problem for it. It's done. Just take a screenshot. See here. If I want to calculate the flux through this cube, first the flux through the closed surfaces, we know that flux through the closed surfaces is Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught. I'll draw a smaller one. First, if I want to make it as a closed one, how many number of cubes to be placed? That we should get some imagination of that one. Here one cube is there, right? If I want to make it as a closed surface, how many number of cubes to be placed? Here one cube to be placed, right? One cube to be placed here. One. Backside, 2 more cubes to be placed. Backside, right? Backside, 2 more cubes to be placed like this. So one, first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Are you getting imagination? One, first one. This is first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. Next, top of it you have to place. Okay. So top of it you have to place again 1 like this, 2, again here 3, again here it is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means how many number of cubes you have to place such that it will become a closed one. Are you getting the point? 7 cubes we have to place. With respect to this one, here 1, 2, 3, 4. Up again 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cubes are there. First one cube, second cube, third cube, fourth cube. On the top, first cube, second cube, third cube, fourth cubes. Then the charge will become at center. It is coming to center, right? So 8 cubes we require. So now the flux through the complete surface is Q by epsilon naught. How many number of cubes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Upper part here 5, 6, 7, and 8. Upper part 7 and 8. Total 8 cubes are there. So that I can write phi is equals to, of course, the diagram is not that much clear to show the dimensional figure. Okay, front and back and top. Fine. So phi is equals to a cube by, from 1 cube. 1 cube is 8 epsilon naught. So flux through the cube, flux through each cube equals to Q by epsilon naught, 8 epsilon naught. This will be the answer for that question. Next, this is there in your material also. Find the flux through one of the side. One more question here. If we ask what is the flux through one side? What is the flux through one side? That means here, whatever we are getting flux through this cube, whatever the flux we are getting through this cube is nothing but phi through the cube is equal to Q by 8 epsilon naught. Till here, just you take a snapshot, then we'll proceed. Done? Yes? Yes? No? Right. Now, each cube we are getting Q by 8 epsilon naught. If we ask through this surface, only one surface, can anybody tell? Already this is phi cube is Q by 8 epsilon naught. Phi cube is nothing but Q by 8 epsilon naught. This flux has to be moved. Yeah, Rupali ready. So it has to go out from left side and downwards and front side. Why? Because back side is completely covered, right side is completely covered. Only 3 surfaces are there. Only 3 surfaces. Yeah, Vagdevi given correct answer. So only 3 surfaces are there. What are the 3 surfaces? See, one surface it can comes outside, flux can comes outside to the first surface, and a second surface at the bottom, right? There is a possibility that the flux can come through this surface, and front surface. Front surface is nothing but third one. See, this is the front surface. So front surface like this and downward. 3 surfaces possibility. Remaining surface are closed with this one. This is blocked with the second block, second cube, and third is blocked with the back side of the first cube, and that's all. So this is closed, back side is closed, side is closed. Fine. Is it clear? 1, 2, and upper one is closed by the upper. That means this surface, the up surface is closed with the 5th block. Up surface is closed with the 5th block, and back surface is closed with the 3rd block, and the side surface is closed with the 2nd block. Only 3 surfaces are there. That means it can comes to 3 surfaces. From that 3 surfaces, we want for one surface that can be written as for right flux through each surface of a cube, each surface of the cube by 3 into 8 epsilon naught. 3 into 8 epsilon naught. How much it will be? Flux through this one, flux is equals to a Q by 24 epsilon naught. Is it okay? Phi is equals to Q by 24 epsilon naught. This will be the right answer. Let's take a screenshot, then we'll proceed. See, Find the electric flux due to Q at the center through the curved surface. Center through the curved surface of the cylinder. Okay. What we require is through the curved surface of the cylinder we require. That means only we want through this one. This surface we want. So only this is the curved surface, up and down. We want only flux through this one, right? We know that the total flux can be written. Flux total closed surface flux is Q by epsilon naught, right? So what we have to do? Only I want this one, right? 1, 2, 3. Only this flux I required. Only this flux, upper flux, and down. Right. I have to remove these parts. Total I know Q by epsilon naught. I want only through these curved surfaces. If I remove these cones away, then we'll be getting the answer for that. Yes or no? Boliye. 2 cones are there. Just turn this one. सीधा करो. जब क्या हो जाएगा देखिए. It will become like this now. Right? Are you able to see 2 cones here? 1 and 2. If I eliminate the 2 cones, so this 2 cones to be eliminated. This is to be eliminated. This flux to be eliminated, right? So at the center, positive charge is there. I want only this part of the flux. I have to eliminate that upper and the lower parts. I should eliminate. For that sake, what I'll do, this is nothing but 2R. Here it is R. This is nothing but R, right? This angle will become R and R tan theta is equals to 45 degrees. This will become 45 degrees. Am I right? Take this 45 and substitute here. For cone already we calculated yesterday. That is Q by 2 epsilon naught 1 minus cos phi. So flux through one cone is equals to Q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus cos 45. 1 minus cos 45. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So 1 minus 1 by root 2. So upper parts and lower part. 2 cones are there. Here first cone flux is Q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus 1 by root 2. Here lower parts again phi is equals to Q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus 1 by root 2. So total flux you add it, both the flux you add and then remove from the total flux. Right? Right, 2. So Q by 2, root 2. Yeah, very good. This is root 2. So Q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus root 2. So here flux phi 1, phi 2, upper part, lower part. Total that has to be removed. Removed means add both the things. Now total flux is equals to total is how much? Q by epsilon naught minus these 2 parts. Right? Q by epsilon naught minus, you add both the things. If you add both the things, what I'll get? Q by epsilon naught into 1 minus 1 by root 2. Subtract it, then we'll be getting Q by epsilon naught into 1 minus 1 by root 2. That's all. This is what's required equation. Further you can even simplify that one. Okay. If you want to simplify, we'll get the final expression Q by epsilon naught minus Q by epsilon naught minus of minus Q by root 2 epsilon naught. Answer will be Q by root 2 E epsilon naught upper. So we'll be getting the final answer is q by plus that is root 2 into epsilon naught. This is the required flux which is coming out from the curved surface. The flux through the curved surface, can be written as q by root 2 epsilon naught. This will be the answer for that question. This is the way that you can calculate it. Take it down. Take a screenshots. See the total flux through this container that one should know, right? So what is the total flux through the container? We know that total flux through the container, total flux is q by epsilon naught. But he is asking only through the curved surface of the container. Only curved surface is this part, curved surface. See, if I remove this part, upper part, like it looks like a cone, the flux coming through this cone, if I remove this part, right, the remaining part, whatever I'll get, that will be flux due to the curved surface. Am I right? Flux through the curved surface. So I should remove this particular part. If I remove that particular part, this flux to this curved surface will give us flux due to the curved surface. So flux, we want to calculate this removed part. How to calculate that one? Already we calculated. It looks like a cone. I'll take it outside now. So just cut and paste here. If I take this is positive charge, the flux is coming out like this. The direction of flux, right? Now here R is nothing but a H. This is theta, we don't know. Or this distance under root of H square plus R square. If I make a triangle, you can see this triangle. This is the triangle. For this cone, I have to remove this cone. So minus, if I want flux through the closed surface, flux through closed surface or curved surface, sorry, flux through curved surface equals flux through curved surface are required, which I can write total flux minus this removed flux, and the flux minus due to this cone. Total flux minus due to the cone, then I'll get the curved surfaces flux. Then what I can write here, cos theta. We know that for cone already we calculated how much, q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus cos theta. Am I right? Q by epsilon naught into 1 minus cos theta. Now what is cos theta from this triangle? Cos theta is equal to h by, just you can see the triangle, what will be getting? H divided by under root of h square plus r square. Simply substitute there, due to cone q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus h by under root of h square plus r square. That is due to the cone. Yes? Sir, no? Fine? Yes? No? Boliye. So now we have to make it as total. Simply you can leave at that point. No problem. I can leave at that particular point. See here, total flux phi is equal to, total is q by epsilon naught minus, for cone is nothing but q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus cos theta. Cos theta can be replaced by, cos theta how I replace? Let us see here, h by under root of h square plus r square. That's so this is nothing but due to the curved surface. Due to curved surface. So if the values are given, then we can proceed. Just note it down. So to start Gauss law applications, we require charge distribution. Charge distribution in one-dimensional bodies, two-dimensional bodies, and three-dimensional bodies. In one-dimensional body, if I take a rod, infinite or finite charged rod can be considered as one dimension, and the charge is distributed. Distribution of charge is calculated by linear charge density. Linear charge density. Linear charge density. Right? And for two-dimensional body, the charge distribution is called surface charge density. Surface charge density. Surface charge density. For three-dimensional body, it is called volume charge density. Volume charge density. Right? Linear charge density, surface charge density, volume charge density. Let me see 1D rod. Okay. So linear charge density is denoted by lambda. Lambda is equal to Q by L. Charge per unit length. Charge per unit length. Charge per unit length. Right? Charge per unit length. Two-dimensional plates, charged plates. It is denoted by sigma. Sigma equal to charge by area. Charge per unit area. So charge per area. Charge per area. See, next three-dimensional sphere, you can take example is what? Sphere, which I can write rho is equal to Q by V, which is nothing but charge per unit of volume. Charge per unit volume. These are the symbols that you have to remember. Lambda is equal to Q by L, sigma is equal to Q by A, rho is equal to Q by V. See, whenever we take the charge distribution on the bodies, right? Charge distribution on one-dimensional body is denoted by lambda. That is called linear charge density. These are the terminology we'll be going to use in Gauss law application. First note it down, then we'll start the first application of Gauss law. Yes. Now see it. We have to calculate electric field due to infinitely long uniform charged wire. If I take this is a uniformly charged wire, to calculate electric field intensity. See, electric field intensity due to point charge, if I take electric field, if I take one positive charge at a distance r, if I want electric field intensity at this particular point, kq by r square, right? Electric field intensity. It's not a single charge. Charge is distributed, so it is infinitely long charged wire. So as it is a one-dimensional, just now we discussed charge distribution in one dimension can be calculated by linear charge density. Lambda is equal to Q by L. Q by L. Q by L. So lambda is equal to Q by L for a finite length. Now what we have to do first, let me see, for positive charge electric field intensity is away or towards? Can anybody tell? For positive charge electric field intensity is away or towards? Boliye, away or towards? From this point it is away, right? So I'll draw electric field intensities away from it. It's nothing but electric field intensity directions. Here electric field intensity directions, right? The direction of electric field intensity. So So intensity, electric field intensity like this. But this many number of electric field intensities are there. How to calculate due to infinite long? For that purpose, what we have to do, we have to take the help of Gauss law or Gaussian surface. Construct a surface around it. Around this is nothing but a wire. Around it, we have to construct a Gaussian surface. So what is the condition for Gaussian surface? The electric field should be uniform. That means equally at all the points. Equal at all the points. Now let us see, if I construct like this cylindrical shape, right? Constructed cylindrical shape like this. So construct cylindrical shape, this electric field from the center to this point is in equal distances. All are equal distances from the center till this point, from the center to this point. So that is a condition that only this can be satisfied. Only cylindrical shape is satisfying this particular electric field should be equal at all surfaces. Equal at all surfaces, right? Okay, now we constructed a Gaussian surface to calculate electric field. Let me take for this Gaussian surface, what is R? First, till here you note it down or take a screenshot. Then we'll proceed from this point. All of you take a screenshot. Done. Yes. बोलिए. Okay. Chalo. Now see here. For this particular surface, this is a cylinder. Here also cylinder. It has one upper surface, here bottom. Let us see. Up here one. Here also one. First surface, second surface, and curved surface is the third surface. If I want to write the area vectors for this one, this is nothing but direction of area dA. Here direction of dA. In this direction, always perpendicular. This is nothing but dA. dA and E. dA and E. Here dA and E. Can you see this? This is nothing but 90 degrees. Theta is equals to 90 degrees. Here theta is equals to 90 degrees. Here theta is equal to 0 degrees. Right? The flux linked with the Gaussian surface. Now we can calculate flux linked with the Gaussian surface. How many surfaces will be there for this one? Upward, downward is the curved surface. At any point you can take it as curved surface. So this will be the curved surface. Let me calculate here what is the total flux linked with the Gaussian surface or cylinder. This is nothing but complete cylinder. Only that part we are trying to calculate. This complete charge, let us take it as Q. Only till this point Q. Okay. Now Q inside the total flux if I want. So total flux is equal to Q1 plus the Q2 plus the Q3. Three flux we can calculate: upward, downward, and away. Upward, downward, and away. Upward, downward, and away. Right? So at this particular point, theta is equals to 90. What is the flux? Can you tell me? Total flux is equals to phi1. If I take this is the first surface, first, second, and third surface. This I can write E into dA cos 90 plus E into dA cos 90 plus E into dA cos 0, right? You can just take it out. The flux 1, 2, 3. Yes or no? Small flux integration, closed loop, as it is a closed loop. This this will get cancelled. Now flux can be written as flux total is equals to E into cos dA, integral of closed integral of dA. This we got it as only due to the third surface. Just you check it out. If you have any problem till that point, let me know. Then we'll proceed. Take a screenshot. Done. Yes. Luri done. Still understood. Okay. This you can take it as Q. Total Q you can take. Lambda is equal to Q by L. Q inside. This is the charge inside. Only it is inside. Charge is inside. Right? Fine. Now getting back to here, the same expression we got. I'll erase. I think hope you took the screenshot till here. Right. I'll erase this point. Okay. Same thing we got. Flux inside. Sorry. Q inside by epsilon naught is equals to integral of E into dA. Right? Q inside. This is Q inside. This complete part is inside, right? You see, this is nothing but inside. This length is nothing but L, right? It is infinite, but we are taking only finite. This is a finite. Q inside. Okay, lambda is equal to Q inside divided by L. So Q inside can be written as lambda into L, right? Lambda into L. What is lambda? Lambda is nothing but linear charge density. Now lambda into L divided by epsilon naught is equal to E if I take closed integral of dA. Closed integral of dA means Gaussian surface. What is the area of Gaussian surface? Can anybody tell? What is the area of Gaussian surface? 2 pi r L, right? So let me take this is the small r radius. For Gaussian surface, lambda L by epsilon naught is equal to E into 2 pi r L. That's all. So L will get cancelled. What I'm getting here, E can be written as now E equals to just a cross multiplication. If I cross multiply lambda by lambda divided by 2 epsilon naught into r. So E is equals to 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught into lambda by r. This is the final expression. Sometimes he will ask for even 4 marks also, this one in your IP level examination. But for IIT solving problems, the final result you have to remember E is equals to 2 pi epsilon naught into lambda by r. Here what is the conclusion? R is inversely proportional to 1 by r. E is inversely proportional to 1 by r. So E is equals to 2 pi epsilon naught. 2 pi epsilon naught is constant, lambda is a constant, only the distance is varying. Just you can extend this distance, right? E is proportional to 1 by r. Note it down. Then we'll take the graph for it. The final result, what we got, E is equals to 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught into lambda by r. Here 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught, lambda is a constant, r is a variable. That means as I move away from this one, E will be decreases distance as I'm moving. So E is proportional to 1 by r. So if I plot a graph by taking E versus r, then r is increasing, E will decreases. That will be showing this graph, and this graph should not touch the value of R, because when R is increasing, E will decreases. If R is tending to infinity, then E will become 0. So if R is tending to infinity, then it will touch, so that when we are plotting a graph, we should not touch the x-axis. That we should, one should be careful about that part. Is it clear, all of you? Second application, write it down. Yes, just write down the second application. Solid conducting, halo conducting, halo non-conducting, solid conducting, halo conducting, and halo non-conducting cylinder or infinite cylinder. Non-conducting cylinder, infinite cylinder. Solid conducting, halo conducting, halo non-conducting, infinite cylinder. All three are similar. All three are similar to it, right? So to complete class, only 5 minutes is there. So we cannot complete that concept today. So anyhow, we'll continue this class tomorrow. And today, just we'll have a recap what we discussed. How to calculate the flux. Yesterday, we were discussing about how to calculate the flux through a closed surfaces, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional, when the charge is present inside the body or the outside the body, or if the charge is not present inside the body, how to calculate a charge, how to calculate the flux linked with that particular surface. Then we calculated flux linked with the surface, closed surface, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Then today class, if you take half of the cylinder, then a charge is placed on it, then how to calculate the flux linked with its half of the cylinder, or we can say that why we consider infinite wire. See, infinite wire, finite wire, it will be length L only. We can extend. If I say infinite wire in applications, we discussed infinite wire also. Why we are considering everything is infinite? Because charge which is fixed to this one is the Q inside. Okay. Finite, if I take, charge will be fixed. Charge is fixed. See, as I am increasing the Gaussian surface, then charge is also increases. That means it depends on that length. When we are doing calculations or when we are doing problems, it depends on lambda is equal to Q by L. See, if length, infinite length means 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters. According to that, charge is also increasing, lambda value will increases, right? So only to get more information about that one, finite or infinite, all the time we'll be taking infinite conductors to calculate it. Okay. Then Gahana, got it? Shallow. So like that, we calculated Gauss law applications, and yesterday even we calculated what flux through a cone, and applications of Gauss law, infinite wire and infinite plane sheet we are going to discuss the coming class, and next infinite cylinder and sphere, conducting sphere, non-conducting sphere, how the flux will be linked. Okay. Still, if you have any doubts, let me know. You can take a screenshot of it. No doubts? Goods? Understood? Thank you all. Thank you for your time. Right? Thank you for your patience. Thank you all. Right? Richa, thank you.